Time to touch base with the Saints. Adam Kingsley, assistant coach down at St Kilda, has been good enough to join us. Good morning to you, Adam.
G'day, guys. How you going?
We're going well. You want to have your full list, or as much of you as you possibly can, have your list up and going at this time of the year. And we wait to the news this morning about Sam Gilbert's stress fracture in his foot. What's the diagnosis, Adam?
Yeah, look, I think they got it pretty early, so hopefully it won't be as long as what traditional stress fracture is. So I don't know exactly how long. Hopefully we can sort of pencil him in for round one, but it'll be touch and go for that, I would think.
Kepler Vessels Gazy. There you go, right off the top.
Yeah.
Did you knew that, didn't you, Adam? You were sitting there listening to that conversation.
I did actually think about Kepler Vessels, but I wasn't sure if it was relevant given the circumstances of South Africa at the time.
Oh, no, very relevant.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But wasn't that because that was when the sport was being boycotted? I don't know. And it was a whole different set of circumstances with Kepler.
Well, it's coming through strong off the SMS machine. But that's not what... I mean, feel free to join in the cricket conversation at any stage, Adam.
In fact, I want to talk about your Barry Nelson call this morning.
Yeah, go on.
What the hell was that?
Do you know who Barry Nelson is?
No, I'm a big James Bond fan.
Yeah.
But I could name six, but not the last two. David Niven, that was a James Bond comedy.
Well, it wasn't really.
Real James Bond.
It wasn't really. No.
Who was your favourite, though? Who was your best one?
You can't go past Sean Connery, can you?
Correct.
I agreed with Andy with Daniel Craig and Sean Connery. I think they're by far and away the best two. But
Not a rap for Roger Moore.
Yeah, I like his films, but he wasn't. I'm not saying he wasn't good. I'm just saying he's not as good as the other two.
I will.
Fair enough.
You've always been a good judge. I've said that to people whenever they've asked me about you.
well, what about when we're talking about judgment? Can you just talk us through, as a Hawthorn fan, very happy that we've been able to snag Ben McAvoy. Just were you part of that process and the decision making that went on during that?
I was privy to the discussions about Ben being traded, but. I mean, clearly the club's stance is that we needed to get up the draft order to get some real top-end talent, high-end draft picks, and Ben had some currency with quite a few AFL clubs, but, we were able to trade up to get a top... We ended up getting Jack Billings out of it, I think, or something, not Jack Billings, Luke Dunstan out of it. So, they're always hard to gather at this early point in time about how successful it's going to be. For both clubs, Ben is a really good ruckman, but unfortunately, if you want to trade up, you've got to give away good players, and that's what we did. And time will tell if that's successful for us.
You're coming from a long way back. You're coming from last year where you didn't want to be, and we understand, how you ended up in that position and probably why you went up there. New coach comes in. What's the launching pad? What's the position you're coming from to go into 2014? And in a roundabout way, Adam, have you put any sort of challenge to the group in terms of where you want them to be at the end of 2014?
Oh no, we haven't set any I guess targets or limits really, if you like, on what we can do this year. I mean, we understand that we need to improve. Last year was a really disappointing year from everyone's perspective. Richo's come in and just said, you know what, we need to get back to basics, execute the fundamentals. I think 2 years ago we were an outstanding pressure team. Last year we weren't. We were the worst in the competition. So clearly we need to get back to putting pressure on the opposition and really trying to get the ball back quickly. And our training thus far over the pre-season has been really good. It's been incredibly hard. It's been the hardest pre-season I've been involved with at St Kilda for the last three years. So they'll be fit. Our boys, they're coming off a really good base, and then. If we can execute the fundamentals, then who knows what can happen. We
speak of those fundamentals and a style of play. Alan Richardson, what's going to be the hallmark of of this season? What's stamp is he trying to put on the group as far as the way you're going to play? A little bit beyond just being fit, but the style of play that he's trying to implement.
Oh, look, pretty much what I said. He wants to get after the opposition, get the ball back, create turnovers. If you look at Port Adelaide's improvement over sort of 2 years ago compared to last year, that was their major improvement. They just improved defensively and were able to get the ball back more often than what they had done in the past. And that's pretty much his main theme is just get after it and get the ball back. And once we can get the ball back, then the use comes a bit naturally. Most kids who come into the competition can use the ball reasonably well, and they can play offense. It's just the defense aspect that they need to really focus on and sharpen up. So. I think we'll see a better defensive effort than what we gave last year.
Adam, can I ask you about Spencer White? Those of us who haven't seen him play a lot of footy at the secondary level, keep getting teased by St Kilda people. Oh, wait till you see this bloke. He's going to be a freak. He's going to be the next Buddy. He's going to be this. He's going to be that. Where's he at in terms of his development as a player?
Oh, look, he's still got an enormous amount of work to do. I mean, comparing him to Buddy Franklin is off the mark at this stage. He's got a lot of work to do. He needs to improve his fitness. He needs to improve his defensive element of his game, but he has some talent. There's no question about that. He's just got to be get some consistency in his game. He's good. His bad isn't all that good at the moment, and he needs to really lift that to a level that's acceptable for a full game.
That's the challenge, isn't it, for a lot of these talented young players who have been able to get through the underage system, the pathways, just on not necessarily just on talent alone, but that is their big sort of strong suit. The next challenge is the one that's confronting him by the sounds of things.
Oh, absolutely, and it's always difficult for the bigger guys because they've got to get bigger bodies. They've got to develop that as well as trying to improve their skills and gain knowledge and so on and so forth. So, you look at the ruckman and the key position players always take a little bit longer because they're competing. Spencer White in round 3 is going to play against Darren Glass if he's in the team. I mean, that's an enormous challenge for a young guy. So those sort of blokes take time, and Spencer will be given as much time as we can.
I reckon you've picked up an absolute beauty in Shane Savage. Savage. How's he been going? How's he fitted in?
Yeah, really well. He's a very hard worker, and that's a great basis to form a great career on. He brings a lot of knowledge from obviously Hawthorn, and he's certainly pipes up at meetings and shows a tremendous amount of leadership and knowledge in that area of the game. And he just trains hard. And the boys, when we've got the ball, he really works hard. And I think he's going to improve our outside run, which is something that we need to be able to do. Joey Montagna's been carrying that load for a long while now. And I think Shane will assist him in that area. Just
one last one before I let you go, Adam. The new guys that come into clubs via the national draft are always exciting, and Jack Billings was your number one pick. Is he AFL ready, as far as you can tell?
Oh, look, I think he is, yeah. I think we picked up 3 guys, Jack, Luke Dunstan and Blake Acres. Blake had a little bit of a setback with some shoulder stuff coming in. Luke Dunstan's definitely ready. He's a man already. He's got a great physique for an 18-year-old. And Jack, there's no reason why Jack won't play round 1. That'll be dependent upon form more so than whether his body's ready, because I think he'll be able to handle that. He's got enough class to be able to do that already.
It's an interesting round 1 game. It's a long way away, but it's not that long away. St Kilda v Melbourne's a very interesting game to kick the season off, mate. You've got a bit of work to do between now and then. There's an intra-club game on Saturday, Feb 8, 10 a.m. down at Lennon House Centre. Players are wearing their new NAB Challenge Guernseys, and supporters wanting to jump on board, give the club a call, 1300-GO-SAINTS, or visit saintsmembership.com.au. Thanks for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the hard work between now and the opening bounce, Adam. We appreciate you joining us.
No worries, guys. Thanks a lot.
Adam Kingsley from the Saints. It's 18 minutes past 8.